The most important thing in America is freedom. Freedom to own guns. Freedom to buy politicians. Freedom to collect medical debt. Freedom to speak words. While freedom is integral to the American identity today, America wasn't always free. In the dark times, before America was America, they were a colony of Great Britain. What made Britain so great? Let's put it this way. You would be great too if you got to name yourself. Colonies existed to provide wealth for Britain, and by Britain I mean the king and royal family. The peasants, of course, couldn't handle such wealth responsibly and would have blown it on gambling, drugs, and other vices. America was the most productive colony and generated fat stacks of cash. The royal family took this wealth and invested in all the best powdered wigs, fancy canes, monocles, and other accessories. Being royalty wasn't easy. The job required they always be presentable and keep up with the latest fashions. I dare say, Edward, your new locks are smashing. Victoria, the furry corpse adorning your shoulders is exquisite. At first, the colonists didn't mind. They still considered themselves Brits and were just doing their jobs. Besides, working overseas had its perks, like scurvy, freezing winters, and escaping your family. But the more time they spent in the place not yet called America, the more their eyes began to open. There was something different about the New World. A ripple on the breeze, a tingle in the earth. No one could put their finger on it, but one thing became clear. The relationship with Britain needed to change. While the colonists were changing, Britain was too. The bigwigs became addicted to, well, wigs. To be fair, many people owned wigs, but they're kind of like shoes. A few is normal. A dozen is lots. Having to wade through wigs to go to the bathroom is a problem. Every month, the king maxed out his credit cards, and the colonists footed the bill. Funding the war to murder France was one thing, but paying for another man's wigs when you couldn't even afford your own was a slap in the face. As with any relationship, there was only one thing to do. The colonists invited Britain to Netflix and chill, then surprised them with an ultimatum. Either Britain stopped treating them like a cow to be milked, or the relationship was over. Britain laughed. Cows existed to be milked. The colonists were nothing on their own. It was time to stop this foolishness and hand the money over. The response was quiet, but it sounded like the colonists said no. There was collective confusion. No one said no. Free thought was forbidden because the king thought for you. To provide context, at this point in history, monarchies ruled the entire world. Freedom literally hadn't been invented yet. Commoners were told they were too dumb, ugly, and not inbred enough to rule themselves. Until now. These colonists, these Americans, saw the truth. Kings and queens were superior to no one, and it was time to teach them a lesson. Britain ordered America to pay up. America said, or else what? Britain increased taxes on foreign molasses. America cut its hair and changed its name. Britain raised the price of stamps. America canceled tea time. Britain stopped inviting America to go cod fishing. America flipped Britain the bird and declared independence. Neither side backed down, and the dispute escalated into war. America was at a clear disadvantage. Britain had an empire and an army of experienced soldiers. America only had a hope and a dream. Its population not even fully united. Traitors called Loyalists were everywhere. Despite the ripple on the breeze, some people just hated freedom. Between Loyalist sabotage and British military might, America's chances didn't look good. America's leaders got together and had a serious discussion. There was talk of surrender, but then they heard a screech. A bald eagle flew in through the window and landed on George Washington's shoulder. It said, "The Eagles stand with America," then took a shit and flew away. The eagle was right, of course. All this defeatist talk was un-American, so they quit yapping and pulled up their bootstraps. America scoured the land, searching for everything that shared their love of freedom. They didn't have to look far. At the next battle, America unleashed a freedom cascade felt around the world. Bald eagles, desert eagles, classic rocks, the eagles. If there was an eagle, America found it and assembled the perfect fighting force. Their arsenal packed so much freedom, the Brits choked on it. Literally. It was like spritzing a demon with holy water from a spray bottle, or a cat with normal water from a spray bottle. The concentrated freedom chased the tyrannical Brits out of America, forcing the evil king to finally accept American independence. The Loyalist traitors fled too, some to Britain, some to Canada, where they would deviously plot their revenge. America debated sailing across the ocean to finish the job, but they were reluctant to leave the land of the free and home of the brave so soon after liberating it. Besides, there would be plenty of time to spread freedom later. France and Spain swooped in at the end of the war to try to steal credit, but fooled no one. They failed literally every other time they tried to defeat Britain on their own. What are the odds they suddenly accomplished anything now? America created new laws to protect their freedom and enshrined them in the Constitution. A beautiful, perfect, holy document to act as an invisible shield anytime their freedom was threatened. The Constitution could be quoted in times of need, and the best part was, no one had to actually read it because every true American patriot felt it in their bones. No more would Americans be subject to tyranny by king or queen. No more would the state trample on individual rights and freedoms. No more would leaders be chosen without a democratic election. In America, all men were equal, provided they were indeed men of Western European descent and owned property. Freedom took precedence over everything, and God help anyone who tried to take it away. The American Revolution was a triumph of good over evil. It proved kings were cringe and paved the way for the gospel of democracy. As the chosen prophet, America vowed to selflessly share freedom with the rest of the globe, whether they wanted it or not, especially if they had oil. After all, it's not a revolution until it goes all the way around.